Okay, in this video we are going to go over ingesting and culling real fast. This is one of photo mechanics' biggest pluses, is that it lets you go through massive amounts of images really fast. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to push in a compact flash express card. It's a 2 terabyte Angel Bird, and I'm using a Lexar Thunderbolt 3 or 4, I believe, card reader. So it's pretty quick, so it's no slouch, that's for sure. All right, as soon as you plug your card in, this pops up. All right, now what we're going to do is you want to select the card that you're bringing in here. It's a Z8, so it's got 60 gig used on it. All right, so down here you've got incremental ingest, copy new photos only. This is if, let's say, you're shooting an event like a football game, and at halftime you're going to run into the media center and you're going to upload just the new files. Then at the end of the game, when you go to upload in the media center, when you push the button, if you've got this checked, it's only going to upload the ones you've taken since the last ingest, which would have been at halftime. So speeds up some time for you. Here we're not going to do it because it's going to be a full ingest of this whole card. You can also auto catalog this. Now, what in this situation, I'm not going to do it because this is a testing scenario. But if I was out with my laptop taking photos and I went to ingest something, I'm going to put auto catalog, so it's automatically going to catalog it right when I do it. So I don't have to, it's not an extra step that I have to do. All right, so we're going to ignore all directories that are in the card and copy everything out to the same destination. So like sometimes your cameras will do maybe 1,000 or 10,000 images in one directory, and then it'll create another directory and start over again. I think a lot of that has to do with the numbering and stuff, but you have multiple options here. You can keep them in separate folders. So if you've got, for every 1,000 photos or 10,000 or whatever it's set to, you'll have a folder for each of those. Or you can preserve exactly those source directories. So like if it's done by like Nikon does it by a code, it's like folder number 1002, and then the next one will be 1003 and so forth. You can also keep that. I normally ignore it all and put it into one folder because that's the way I organize my archive. Okay, we're going to copy folders into a folder with a name. Okay, you've got options here. You can do a primary and secondary folder into a dated folder, or into a dated folder, then folder with name. I just do into a folder that I'm going to name. Okay, so like these right here are Rolex 24, so we're going to call this 2025 dash, or sorry, no dashes in this, Rolex 24 at Daytona. All right. Now, in the other videos, we talked about how we would put it in a folder and then use that folder variable name in the metadata ingest. We're going to do something similar to that, but we got to make a slight change. So that's why I'm typing the folder name in right now, the way that we want to see it inside the metadata, not necessarily the file name, because we'll change that when we're done. Okay, use folder sequence. We don't need to worry about that. There's only going to be one folder. The primary destination path is going to be volumes, G40 photo, testing, and then this file name right here. Now there's already one in there of that name, so let me change this to -1 just so we don't have any issues. All right, so our primary destination is the volumes, G40 photo, testing. We could also put a secondary location in if you want to take the files and go from, have 2 copies of it. So this is really good if you're out and about. You can plug in 2 SSDs to your computer and ingest right to both of them. Or one to the hard drive, your local hard drive on a PC, and then one to an SSD. Either way, you can get a backup immediately, and then you'll still have it on the card as well. All right, so copy locked and unlocked photos. We're only going to copy everything on the card. There's no locked photos here. What that does though is, see, you have the option of unlocked, locked, or both. If you take a photo and it's something important, like say at the end of the first half of a football game, something important happened, there was a touchdown or something, and you got the shot. As you're reviewing it on the back of your camera, you can literally find the photo you want that you think should be uploaded to the wire service, hit the lock button. Then when you come in, when you ingest into Photo Mechanic, let's say you got 2,000 photos for the first half of football, but you got that one that's locked that really needs to go up. You just hit copy locked photos, and it's just going to copy that one and ingest it. So you don't have to wait for 2,000 photos to ingest. So that's very handy. And of course, you got options for RAW and non-RAW. I always set it to both. It's rare that I shoot anything other than RAW, but just in case, right? We're going to apply metadata template to it as we ingest. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit this template, and of course, this should be blank. It is. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to load the copyright that we did in the last video. Okay, so if we scroll down now, you've got all the copyright data. So that part's done. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to go to headline, okay? Because remember we said we were going to do something here a little bit different? All right, so right here is the headline, the folder name. We're going to put that for the headline. So 2025 Rolex 24 at Daytona -1. Okay, just so it's a little bit different. I wouldn't put that -1 in there, and under normal circumstances, I just don't want it to. Well, actually, it's going to be in a separate folder at this point. So what we'll just do is that. Then we're going to come up here and we're going to put in a different variable. Now, here's all the variables that you have available to you, and there's a lot of them. Here's all the camera variables. Then you've got Nikon picture control. Then you got IPTC fields. We're going to use an IPTC field. So right here where it says headline, this we've already filled it in. So what we want to do is use that. So we're going to double click it and it'll pop it in up here. Now I'm just going to copy this so I can paste it into some other fields. Like right here, I'm going to paste it there. Capture it for the date. You're going to leave it at capture time so it comes off the card. You have other choices here, but we're just going to go with capture time. City, we're going to type in, this is Daytona. Daytona Beach, location. Daytona International Speedway. Okay. State is Florida. Country, United States. And of course, you could just load in last year's template if you really wanted to. I'm just typing it in here just so everybody gets the gist of it. Okay, description writer is me. We've already got our headline, and that's going to be up there as well. And then right here, we're going to go ahead and pop that as keywords. Okay, so we've got all that information, our copyright, the event information, the folder it's going to go into, and we're going to rename the photos to what we want them to be called. So this is pretty handy. Okay, so we're going to hit close template now. You don't apply them to anything yet because they haven't moved. Okay, but now it's in here as a global template. All right, we're going to rename the ingested photos as headline-sequence. We're going to reset that sequence. Let's get rid of the variables. Okay, and then we are ready to rock and roll. All we got to do is hit ingest. And as you can see, it created a new folder over here called Daytona-1. And it's renaming everything with the Rolex 24 at Daytona. So we're getting everything done, and you see down here it's about halfway done now. So it's moving pretty quick. And this is literally copying it from your compact flash express card to the computer, applying all that metadata, renaming the file, and putting them in sequence. And that's pretty quick. That was, this is over 500 photos, I'm sure. Yep, 519 images. And you can see all the metadata is there that we were putting in. We've got the file names, but they got spaces instead of dashes. So all we got to do to fix that, select all the images, edit, find and replace, space, dash, file names only, go. Done. So now we got the right file names, so everything's good. All we got to do is edit the photos and then FTP them to our editor, right? But we got to pick the photos first. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cull these things now. And we got 519 of them in here. So we're going to open this right here up. And before I go full screen with it, just notice down here the little box right here. If you hit the letter T, that puts a checkbox in there. That's your tag. That means that's a keeper. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make it full screen now, and we're going to use the letter T and the right and left arrow buttons, and that's it. And we're just going to bounce through these and find the pictures we like and tag them. So you can see we can go pretty quick through here. And I always go backwards and forwards, so. And I'm just picking the ones that I want to do something with. So like depending on if, if I was following a certain car, then that's probably the ones I'm going to be looking for. So like I say, we're going through these pretty quick. All right, that's enough probably. Let's see, we went through 240 of them right there in about a minute, right? So now once we get done with that, right here at the top, you've got this little box that says all. Just drop it down and say tagged. And now we're down to 60 images. Okay, so you see how fast that is. Now let's say we want to just make sure that these stay. Sometimes like the tag right here will not cross over into like Lightroom when you import these into Lightroom, but the colors and the star ratings will. So what I'll do is once I get these marked as to ones that I want to keep, I'll select all those, then go up to Image, and then set color class of photos, and I'm going to set it to red. And you could also use the Command key and the number 1, and that would set it to red. Now when you take these and you import those into Lightroom, they'll transfer over. So you can just sort by the red ones, and you'll just see the ones that are tagged. So it makes your life a whole lot easier. But you do have to kind of set this up. And we're going to do that in the next video. We're going to go through some of the settings where we integrate with other tools. That'll be a fairly short video, but one that you kind of need to do, because being able to take the star ratings and color ratings and stuff and open up certain developing tools is pretty handy. So like right here, I'm not going to go with unedited photos, right? I got to edit them. So this is how we'll get them into those tools. All right, that's it for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.